Hi, thanks for joining us on Calm Hearts, Calm Minds, an NOCS Heart podcast that allows us to make the mental health victories of everyday Ghanaians accessible, relevant, and relatable. We hope that you enjoy listening to us and learning lots, and we hope you do come back again to learn some more. Now, today's episode. Hi, everyone. Hi, Joseph Maxwell. Yeah, how are you doing?
Very good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. I'm super excited to have you on this episode of Calm Hearts, Calm Minds. For those who are watching us for the first time, this is a mental health awareness podcast. And I am your host, Ufusiade Ama. And please remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment so we can make the mental health victories in our society more accessible, more relatable, and more relevant. It's been such a journey, and for those who don't know Maxwell, I'll switch between Joseph and Maxwell, so just be aware. I met him through work, and then eventually I noticed that around certain times of the year, he posts a lot about men's mental health. I'm like, oh, that is so cool. Like, honestly, I don't know a lot of men who do that. So I think men who are men's mental health advocates have a special place in my heart. So really, really happy to have him on this call today.
Thank you
So
for
we
having
will, yes, I'm just really, really glad. Let me try and contain the excitement. And plus, I haven't seen him in years. You'd be surprised how many how many months fly past. And COVID didn't help us at all. You won't see somebody like 5 years and you chat them once a while, then you feel like, but we met 3 weeks ago. No, we were just that was WhatsApp. Oh, okay. And then that was a phone call. Yeah. So
time
today,
passes.
sorry, what did you say?
The time passes so quickly, so quickly.
So quickly, so quickly. This adulting is adulting us. So we are actually here to talk about men's mental health advocacy, specifically for men's mental health. For anybody who's seen previous versions, we talked about mental health advocacy in general from one of our guests. And now we have Mr. Joseph Maxwell telling us about men's mental health. But before we do that, please tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, who you are.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor. So, again, I think I won't go into the what my name is and everything because you've already done all of that. So, a bit about myself. I'm a proud of that year. Completed Presbyterian Boys Secondary School and did my university education in KNUST. Studied computer science. If anybody says I'm a failed developer, they are lying. I just didn't want to keep coding. So I went away from computer science and did my master's in management information systems at GIMPA. And so generally when it comes to work, like also you said, we met through work. I've really been in the banking sector most of the time. Worked at Barclays, now ABSA, worked at Nestle, worked at FBN Bank. All the banks I worked at, they've changed their name because FBN Bank is now First Bank. And now I find myself at Fido. So I think generally I started out as a developer, but along the line somewhere I decided to go into more of product management, strategy, research, and that's why I find myself at with Fido currently, where I lead the business unit in charge of our loans, our business loans, our savings product, or the like. Anything that the business feels that they need to run faster, they'll come and say, Maxwell, collect it and they run with it. So that's a bit about me. I think one of the main things that I would say, which I think also I like to hear a lot, is the fact that I like from one a lot. And I was
Yeah.
telling Ofusua that I I had a bad morning, all because I woke up at 2 a.m. to watch Formula One and my favorite driver qualified 10th. So you can imagine.
Oh,
Wasted my
ouch.
sleep. But we'll take it like that. So yeah, so that's generally who Maxwell is and a little bit about what I'm really interested in. And I think for me, men's mental health is very important because for me, I've just come from a background where it's something that we take like pretty much attention to because I come from a background where my parents are always going like, look, you need to talk about your feelings, talk about your feelings. So
Oh,
growing up, thing I've always tried to be in touch with, in tune with, to make sure that I am I'm being there. I would say I'm in touch with my feminine side, but yes. So that's a bit about me and what I do.
Nice, nice. I like the way you touch on the topic, why it's important to you. It's one of the default questions that I ask my guests. I
Yeah.
didn't know you were that, yeah. I think I
Uh,
was going to take, but now we must have a separate conversation after this recording.
forward. Yes,
We
yes,
will, we will. We have to do a special sit down on that bit of your life.
yes.
But really, 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 really happy. And I didn't know about your parents and how they've influenced your journey. And yeah, I mean, honestly, very inspiring to see. It's not like it's this big thing that you are doing with all the bells and whistles, but they're very honest things on your WhatsApp status. And I think it's
Yeah,
very encouraging. So yeah, thanks for joining us to talk about it.
great.
So my next question is, as a Ghanaian man living and working in Ghana, what sparked your passion for men's mental health advocacy? Because you see this like some LinkedIn post, person in America, person is somewhere else, or there's a Ghanaian, but he's not living here. There are few.
Yeah,
I mean, I've had some men mental health
yeah.
Kates,
It's,
who not Mary Kate, who
yeah,
who who are living in Ghana, but I think I've never really asked them what sparked that for you. And I think my next question, if you can add on, is there anything else that makes this topic really important to you? How has your personal journey, you talked about your parents,
yeah,
influenced your approach to supporting other men? And that's one thing I like about Joseph Maxwell's mental health advocacy. He's not just going like men have feelings too. He's literally giving people a few tips to
yeah.
like this is how you can support a guy, or if you're a guy, this is how you can support yourself or another guy. So yeah, please tell us a bit more about your journey and what brought you to this point.
Okay, so I think so like I mentioned, my mom worked in health, reproductive health basically. So growing up you see a lot of people coming, and one thing she used to do back then was the fact that she asked all her people who come in to come with their husbands. And it
Mm,
was like one of the key things that she used to get. And when they come in, while the nurses are attending to the women and everything, she just sits the men down and talks to them like, "Oh, how are you people doing? How are you and the baby? And how are you coping the pregnancy?" And for a while, I was like, "Ah, wait, why does she keep doing all of these things?" So I just asked her like, "Why?" She's like, "Well, she realized that a lot of the men don't come; they just
mhm,
leave their wives come. So this was an opportunity for her to sort of see into the male psyche, and it's sort of and the funny thing is when women are pregnant, they tend to do a lot of things that they maybe don't understand.
mhm.
So that was her opportunity
I
to
like
sort
the
of
way you
talk to
said we. Special
so,
greetings to the one who must receive it.
way to advise them and all of that. So that's how the whole thing started for me. And it was always Charlie Maxwell, talk about your feelings. You need to talk about your feelings. And for me, I sort of had a dormant period about it where I sort of ignored it because we
Mhm,
are working, everybody's busy. Until one time, I think it was one of these men days, and I think it was about 3 years ago, and I just was like, oh wait, let me just post something because it's been a
mhm,
while since I spoke about this thing. So I posted it, and a friend called me. He was like, Maxwell, why are you dying? Is something wrong? I'm like, why? Why you? Oh, good. He said, no, no. He's seen I posted something on my status.
mhm,
Like,
mhm,
where I'm talking, it looks like there's something wrong. And I'm like, no, I'm just, trying to bring some awareness because I know Charlie, the women don't do it for us. So let's do it for ourselves.
mhm,
Then I was like, okay, wait. Is this something that people don't really get in touch with? That's why the mere fact that I've posted something so innocently and you think I'm dying. So I started asking a couple of people, I'm like, wait, do people talk about mental health for men? They're
mhm,
like, no. I'm like, so what do people do? It's like, oh, we will just go and drink with it. That is it. I'm like, that can't be it. So I think over there, I sort of it just sort of clicked to me that look,
mhm.
if I'm not known for anything among my friends, I want to be known as the person that you have an issue, you think you're overwhelmed with all you're doing, just come and talk to me. I may
Oh,
not have the solution for you. I may insult you small on the side because you know how typical men we are, but I'll just be there to listen to whatever they are going through. So that's what kickstarted this whole, once in a while I can come and post. And we have several men groups that I'm part of that you put some information there for people to sort of look at and understand that look, we are not alone. Let's just talk to each other. It won't hurt anybody, you know.
hmm. I love this because we've had two episodes before this one that is solely
Mm.
dedicated to men's mental health. One talks
Oh,
about men's depression, another talks about men's friendship beyond just
uh,
like
yeah,
surface level broke. And I like how what you said is reaffirming some of the things that have been said in those ones. And even
mm,
the sheer fact that men will sit down and drink and talk about issues
yeah,
is actually a form of therapy that isn't going to sit in a doctor's office and they take a notebook and then, So
yeah,
men are doing things right. But yeah, but for people to feel that they can't talk about, I think that's where you come in. And it's so
yeah.
important. It's really important work. So congrats.
It's really important. It's really important.
I would want to go to the next question. In your experience as a team leader, and I know you are a team leader. In fact, sometimes team leader of teams and
In some teams, yeah.
how do you how do sorry, how do traditional Ghanaian cultural expectations of masculinity impact men's, I don't know, well, willingness to discuss mental health challenges in the workplace and beyond? So not just the workplace, but at home, like soon, even in the workplace, because some people feel threatened when it comes to mental health conversations. If I start bringing him up, they're like, hey, is he okay? Can he manage the role? Is he?
Yeah.
So what do you think our culture has done and how does it hinder people?
Well, I
How does it
think
help? Or if there's a way it helps to, let's know. But how does it impact?
uh, no, I don't think it helps.
Oh, you
The
get some for us.
no. 'Cause, I mean, generally, and like you touch on it, the thing is, most often than not, you find people saying that, like you're saying, Beme soon. Even if you are facing a problem at work and you're a guy, you're expected that look, think about it. And it's funny, I work with somebody currently, no mention of names, but he worked under me for a bit. And a couple of times I realized that look, I want something done. He just goes ahead and does it, but he doesn't really touch on what I want done. And whenever
Mm,
he comes back, we have like a sort of back and forth about. So one day I just asked him that look, is it that you don't understand what I'm saying? Or he's like, he doesn't understand, but he also doesn't want me to feel as if, yeah, every like whenever I tell him to do something, I'm like, look, you can talk to me. And he
mhm.
goes like, well, where he's coming from, he doesn't talk to people in his house. If there's a problem, he needs to be the one solving it. So he's used to being the problem,
Oh.
used to being the one people come to for things to be done. So if he doesn't know how to do something, he feels like he's disappointed whoever it is. So he doesn't want to even talk about it. Then I was like, no, like, look, guy, I'm there for you. The fact that I'm your boss or I tell you to do something doesn't mean that I don't know everything. But that is it. Like every man is geared towards be the one who is leading, be the one who is
Mm,
making sure all the answers are coming from you.
mhm,
And that that sort of even kills some of the emotions that you can express. Because even if you are frustrated with something, you
mm,
okay, let me show it. Because I want to project like a projection of I'm strong, I can handle everything, I can carry the whole world on my shoulders. And it doesn't help us to sort of, and for me, one of the things that I do, and maybe I may digress a bit over here, but
mhm,
one of the things I really do now consciously is the fact that sometimes when I feel like I'm being asked to do too much, or I feel like I'm going to the stage of I'm thinking too much as okay, I can get all the answers, I just take a step back, lock myself in an office somewhere, or lock myself in the room, just sit down and then think. If I need to like play music or listen to music or something, I just do it. But
mm,
that idea of a man being a provider, or that idea of if I go and say I can't do something, I'll be
mhm,
looked at, you guys weak, it's not possible.
mhm,
No. And then there's the other side, which sometimes I don't like to touch on it too much because I'm a Catholic, and Catholics we are viewed some style, but the religious side of things, right?
mhm.
And you find people who are telling people that look, you can't provide, you don't have your answers.
Yeah.
You've come to your pastor and told your pastor that, oh, maybe I'm having a tough time at work. You are the person I
Mhm.
can talk to. Your pastor will tell you, oh no, go and pray. Go and pray. I mean, yes, I'm all for prayer. Oh. I'm all for prayer, but
Sorry,
the
I have to chip in here. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because of how real it is
yes,
and how
yes,
sad it is. Because now you really want to speak with someone, it's not
Mm.
like you're not in tune with God, but you just want
Yeah,
to offload or just be heard. And then,
yeah.
oh, stop. Why don't you have faith? Why have you fallen? Like, and
Uh,
it just doesn't help. So even though I'm not a guy, I can relate to that 100%.
yeah. You get it a lot, and I think for me, you find out that these things, like you're saying, sometimes somebody just wants to, somebody who even just say, "Oh, okay, I've heard you, everything
Mhm.
will be fine." That's what I mean. Yes, God will tell you, they will tell us that listen to your inner voice, but nothing beats the person standing in front of you telling you that, okay, I can hear you.
Yeah.
So you find out that that's why in the beginning I said no, society hasn't helped us, because even as of now, even though the shift is happening and everything, but still you find people that some people don't even know how to talk to their wives because they feel like, I'll go and tell my wife, oh, I'm having a tough time at work. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
seen. No, there's something about it. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really, and it also doesn't help that we don't get a lot of programs like this, but that helps to talk about some of these things.
Mm.
The truth is, when you told me about this, I decided to just do some sort of research, a little bit deeper
Mm.
research, because like I say, every time I'll see, oh, America, oh, US, oh, Canada, oh, Europe,
Mhm.
oh, this. There's no data on Ghana. The last time I heard, and I was searching on it, and I'm like, the last time I saw a conference on something like this, like talking really like nationwide and everything, was like far back as 2018. And I'm like,
Wow.
what's happening?
Wow.
So there's limited awareness. People know I can talk to people. People know, but how do I go about it? Who do I even go and talk to? Like, these
Mm.
are things that we
Yeah.
need to teach people how to do, because there's a lot of unlearning that we as guys need to do to be able to get to the point where we are, talking about feelings, letting things out, being vulnerable. So
Mhm.
those are some of the things that I feel like culture wise, Ghana, I care but
Yeah. For those who don't understand tree, means we are
ah
cooking. We will get this. And I agree with you on so many fronts. And people actually want help, but they don't know how to ask. They don't know who to ask. And the reality that I actually have a cousin who cannot tell his wife that he's broke. And
ah
for me, it's basic. Like human trees don't get broke. Trees, I've seen a tree that's
so
broke before. Like it's human beings that get broke. But for
yeah,
him, it's a no-go area. So the wife has now deciphered that when he has a foul mood, then he goes
that
like,
means
I know that when you're talking to me like this, you don't have money. So me, I won't mind you. Like it, by my mind, I'm like, do you have to detect from here? But it's the culture that we are in. You can't say I have a problem. If you have a problem, and I said I'll keep referring to previous episodes because some of them have been enlightening. Even the way um therapy and thing is done is not necessarily designed for men. So you find
nope,
out that they don't even want to go because it doesn't help.
doesn't.
It's not the nature of a man to go and just talk about their problems. But when they have therapy that's solving problems, you find out that they are more. So there's a whole lot of work that needs to be done. But for me, as you said, if we hadn't had conversations like this, I feel I'm well read. But now this whole podcast is humbling me. Like, oh my God, I didn't know that too.
Out
So
there. Yeah.
it's amazing. Yeah. But thanks for coming on and telling us this. But let's move to some
Okay.
good news. When it comes to your own journey of mental health advocacy,
Yeah.
can you tell us of a scenario where what you have done, like you've seen the impact? Like this is
Yeah.
undeniably, if I had not spoken, if I had not stepped in, if I had not raised my voice, if I had not used my voice as a man for men's health, this could have gone south very
Sideways.
quickly or very badly. And if you also have one that perhaps talks about how mental health advocacy has helped you on men's
Mm.
health, you can also add that too. That'll be a nice bonus. But if not, let's just stick with the first one.
No, so I think I'll start with the second one rather. So I
Huh?
think for me, it's helped me a lot, because I think for when I started really doing this, talking about these things, I realized that I was sitting on the outside, like I detached myself a little bit from it.
Mm.
It was all push information out there. Until one time I had an episode. I think there was like last year, around maybe like June or July or so. I was at work one day, and so my neighbor calls me. He's like, "Oh, a car has fallen. Hey, a poly tank has fallen on your car." I'm like, "Ah, what's this coming from?" So honestly, I thought it was like a joke or something. I was like, "Ah, wait, the person should stop joking." So like I drive home, find out that actually yes, the poly tank had fallen on the car. And that evening I
Mm-hmm.
was like so distraught. Like that was my first car. So like I had like an
Mm.
emotional attachment to the car. So I was so distraught. Like for the next like week, I was not really I was not there. Like I was going through everything on autopilot. So I think
Mm-hmm.
one of the days my sister called me and went like, Max, you talk about mental health a lot. You yourself that you are going through this situation, you are not talking, you kept your mouth shut. What do you think we should be doing?
I love your
You
sister.
know, yes, but I was like, wait. I could have been, looking for help all this while and I'm sitting there and that's the tricky thing about being a guy.
Mm,
Sometimes you it doesn't even occur to you that you are doing this because you're in
mm,
problem solving mode. Because at that point in time, I have to think to myself, wait, how is the kid going to go to school?
mm-hmm,
How would I go to school? Do I have to go and drop my wife off before I go? All of those things.
mm-hmm,
It's a problem solving mode.
mm-hmm,
But then it helps me take a step back and go like, okay, so at that point I was like, no, I need to start doing something.
mm.
And that led me directly to my first encounter with a therapist. I mean,
Wow.
yes, they say sometimes it helps, but me, I didn't really see the benefit of it. But I won't say that out too loud. But
Please leave
I
it.
mean,
Record it.
I hope he's not listening. So,
Maybe we can
but
put him on the show, right?
no, no. So I mean, and going through that period, and I found out that, and that's what sort of brought me back to journaling. At first, I used to do it a lot. I used to do it for work, but I never used to do it for myself. So I started journaling a lot. Like I'm thinking about something, I write it in my notes.
Wait, what? You
Something
do
like
for work? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
like I journal for work a lot. Yeah, like if you tell me that Maxwell, when you started working 2017 January, what did you do? I can tell you because I have books showing every single thing I do every single day, the conversations I have.
Ah, so now this is getting interesting because I can almost imagine that I'm going to have a meetup with you and another journal. She didn't say no, she journals everything. But anyway,
Uh,
back to what we are
but
saying. We're
yeah,
journaling. Mm-hmm.
so then I thought to myself, okay, I can write my feelings out. Like probably
Mm,
that's going to help because I realized that sometimes communicating the way I actually feel is a bit difficult. But
mm,
when I write it out and I think through, as I'm writing, I'm thinking through what I'm feeling, it
true.
makes it easier that I can talk about it. So personally, I think that's one of the ways it's helped me. And
Mm,
on the outside, I think the best example I'll use is I have this friend in my former workplace that he reached out to me the same way. Like he's seen me post about these things. Like he doesn't feel he feels like he's stuck, like he's in the mud and he's not moving.
mm,
So I was like, okay, look, let's just have a chat about it one of the days after work. So after work, it was a Friday, I met him up and then we are like, okay, fine, let's talk through how you're feeling. Then he tells me about how like he feels like nothing is going on well.
mm.
um he doesn't really sleep, he'll just be on his phone, he's not working. Then I was like, wait, I've read, and the funny thing was, I had read an article just like I think about a week or two before, and I was like, wait, I'll get this article for you.
For
So
you.
I'm gonna pick the article and I bring it to you, and I'm like, look, all the things you're talking about, it is not about you being tired or anything, no, bros. Your mind, something is doing it, and as a guy, like you can say this, and other guys will take a lighter
Would not be
sense.
offended. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like I mean, bro, like something's really wrong. It's like okay, like all the things he's been feeling, it is like written
Mm-hmm.
out there. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, look, first things first. The best advice I'll give you is that find somebody that you can talk to.
Mm,
I know most men, like I say, will not want to talk to their wives, but outside of that, find somebody you can talk to, like an accountability partner, sort of. That you tell the person, look, this is my problem.
mm-hmm.
Can you help me be on the right path? I want to do A, B, C, D to get myself out of this. Help me make sure I'm on that track.
Mm,
Then we also went into, then I showed him a bit of like the books, how I write, and
mm-hmm.
I write about how I feel and all of those things, and then take him through the process. Like for me, if I'm feeling like down about something,
Mm-hmm.
I just write it out. Like okay, I'm feeling this way. I write it out. What can I do about it? Maybe in that moment, I will not do
Mm-hmm.
anything about it, but at least another time I'll come back to it and I'll feel like, oh, okay, I've gotten an idea of what I'm supposed to do. And for me, one of the most important, I asked him that, bro, and this is advice that's coming from me that I don't take. They say the doctor never takes his own medicine. I don't take that advice, but I told her, look, you need to take some leave days. I always advocate for people to take their leave days, but me, I don't go. I'll sit in the office every single time. So he's like, oh, he's also not been on leave that year. And I'm like, look, take a leave, like take some time off, go and have some time away. Even if you don't have to go with your wife, hopefully your wife understands that you are going alone and there's nobody else going with you. But be by yourself, and even if you can't like go, and go out of Accra, just go and stay somewhere for the day. Just relax,
Mm.
take your mind off everything, and then come back. And for me, that's and it's so fresh to me because the next time I saw this guy, which was about a month or two down, and the funny thing is, he ghosted me too on top. After letting me sit and talk to him and everything, he ghosted me on top. So the next time I saw him, I actually passed by my old office a lot just to say hi to the guys. So I went there and I was like, hey, you, after all the things I told you, you just ran away, you left me. It was like, Charlie, he's like doing so good. And it was like, Charlie, I can't even look at his suit. He's not fitting inside the suit. Because he's like so excited. You can tell.
Oh,
No, this guy, is he faking it or not? Because I don't trust people that much. I was like, no, let me go and ask my former boss and see. So I go
you
and ask
actually
my
want to
former
ask for
ask him, I was like,
man,
has he
you
seen
care. You care
the
to.
guy? So has he seen a change? This guy is like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like lately he can tell that the guy is like visibly happy. Like
Mm-hmm.
he walks around the office, the smile on his face, basically.
Oh.
Oh man, then my work is done. I really don't need to do anything else. So it was really exciting to look at him and feel like,
Hmm.
and that's the other thing. This year, International Men's Day, I forgot it was International Men's Day. I don't
Me, I
I
did
don't know
not
what was.
forget. Me, I did not forget.
Ah,
The number of men who have bashed, and I'll say it on this call, number of men who have bashed me for international, I've stopped. I used to be such a big advocate for it. And then, oh
please
goodness.
come back. I
No,
forgot.
my message is men, advocate for yourselves. Finish.
No, no, no.
I
You
will
have
not
to
take
advocate.
your bashing for your day. But please continue. That was, by the way, men's
Yeah.
international men's day.
I forgot. I think I had like several meetings that morning, and I opened my WhatsApp status, and he had posted something about International Men's Day. I was like, ah, thank you for reminding me. Oh, you that just a few months ago you didn't know who to talk to. You also posting about this, so it's
Oh.
showing you that once people get into it, they get to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
They they being an advocate becomes super easy for them once they see the direct benefit of
Mm-hmm.
how it's going to help
Mm-hmm.
them in their lives.
Mm-hmm. One of the reasons why I started Calm Hearts, Calm Minds was the fact that I felt privileged growing
Mm,
up and perhaps even overexposed to mental
yeah.
health practitioners, even some mental health advocates. And I realized that
Okay.
some of us just treated people a little differently. People who
Yeah.
have knowledge who are aware of mental health, not just the
Mhm.
bad side, not just the dramatic sides, that's what's in the news. That's what
Yeah.
sells the papers. But more holistically, you find out that it's just the little things that make it's easier for us to treat people better. And then you find that people literally open up to you about things you have no training, you have no clue. They're like, wait a minute, let me Google that and let me check that
Let's
Google
go.
with ChatGPT as well. And then with like and it I told you about an aunt that I had. I would literally connect her to all my friends who I thought needed therapy. Like
Yeah.
I can't deal. I know that this is beyond me. And she
Mhm.
would so gladly give it. So I think when she passed, it really triggered me to do this because people don't know that they need help.
Yeah.
And then when they do find out that they need help, they don't know how to get it, as you said. So it's amazing work you're doing. Amazing work that I think for me, I get overly, or maybe wrong, but I think I have to contain myself when I'm speaking with a fellow advocates when it comes to mental health. We are not professionals, but
Yes.
we try and we can see the impact when we just
That-
open up and voice out. So this is lovely. We will go on a quick break and come back and answer a few more questions. This is
Also.
as I like to say around the break time, imagine that, not imagine, maybe you are passing by and someone's listening to this, then this is Calm Hearts, Calm Minds. It's a mental health awareness podcast. My name is Ofosia. I'm your host. I have the lovely Joseph Maxwell. I'm going to say Maxwell, Joseph Maxwell. Yeah, with us. One of the few men's mental health advocates that I know. Hopefully, with this, I'll get to know a few more
Yes.
on this. And we are talking about raising your voice for men's mental health in societies like Ghana. And we hope that if you are listening to this, you like, you subscribe, you comment, you share, because for those of us in this space of advocacy, we realize that you will never know who will react, who will benefit, who will start some chain reaction to make better decisions for their mental health or for those around them if you do so. So please do that. Share it, share it. And please, we want to get to a place where followership is easy to self-finance this thing. So please get us there and help us make mental health victories like the mental health advocacy that Maxwell is championing more relevant to our society, more relatable to our society, and more accessible. So thank you so much, Max. We'll
Uh,
see you very soon.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. We are back from the break, and this, in case was going on, this is Calm Heart, and it's a mental health awareness podcast, and I am your host, Ufusia Debbie Ama. I have the lovely, I've used lovely twice already, so I'm going to for another adjective. I have
Oh
the
my.
amazing Joseph Maxwell Akira, as he is a men's mental health advocate in Ghana. Today's Ghana, in case you're wondering what year we are in 2024, pre-election. So he's a men's mental health advocate in Ghana. Obviously, he's a man, and he is here to talk about men's mental health advocacy. And we are really
Yes.
happy to have him. Please remember to share this with others. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe. We can do so much if you subscribe and we hit 1K followers. So please do that for us. And remember to share with others. I think what I share with all the mental health advocates is that you have no idea the impact of sharing
Yeah.
information, sharing care with people when it comes to mental health. It's exponential. So please remember to share with others. You never know who'll be grateful you did. And help us make mental health victories more relevant, more relatable, and more accessible. If you were here from
Yeah.
the you could probably relate to some of the things that uh, Maxwell said. You may not be a guy
Yeah.
like me. You could see how relevant some of these things when we talked about the cultural impact of the Ghanaian society on mental health and even mental health advocacy. And we'll zoom into that pretty soon. And then you probably have realized that, oh, there's a, how do you say, there's hope in the sky. Like,
Yes.
there's something you can do, and there's something others
Yeah.
can do. So yes, really, really happy to have you. So tell us, Mr. Joseph Maxwell. Um, unless you haven't realized, I really like his name, Joseph Maxwell. And
That's all.
Mr. Joe Max, please tell us when it comes to being a mental health advocate in
Mhm.
Ghana, what kind of responses, both
Hey.
support and challenging, have you received
Mm.
from family, colleagues,
Okay.
the broader community when discussing men's mental health? And how have
Okay.
you navigated these reactions? Because you're
Okay.
still
So
there.
it's,
Yeah, you should
yeah,
have
family, colleagues, and friends, right?
friends, broader community. You could add the
Yeah.
people in your church or your neighbors. But yeah, we
So,
want to know good, bad, and ugly. Yeah.
so I think I saw the good because I think in the beginning I spoke to, so I think for me supportive family, they
Oh,
like get go. The moment I said I wanted to do something like this and talk about these things, I've always had support from my sisters and my mom. My dad not so much, because my dad, like a typical the older generation, they go like, nah, we so now but you know, but he will tell you no. That's what I tell about it. He will tell you
Mm,
no, but he will no. But generally, from when it comes to supportive, my family, it's like they are very supportive.
mhm,
And like the example I gave, even when I am being challenged, even when I feel I'm in a rut, they are there to always pick me up and go like, look, you are doing something, make sure it's applying to you also, you know.
mm,
But then it comes to the bad and the ugly side, where people are like, and I remember, I think one of the days I posted something. I don't know if you saw it. I posted something and I got like a really terrible response from somebody. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm not even going to respond to this. I just screenshotted the response and I posted it back on my status. And I said, look at how people think
I
about
remember
this
that.
stuff.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
And I feel like people don't really understand. They trivialize it a lot. And maybe it's not from a bad place. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's just because of the kind of culture we find ourselves in, and the unlearning we said before, and what we need to do. Because when it comes to challenging it, and sometimes people that I don't expect to
Oh,
say certain things, they
oh.
come as like, why are you talking about this?
I
Ah,
think let me just start in you on this one. I think one of the pains you will experience as a mental health advocate is when people you are not expecting to react in the
exactly.
same way do. Like I had someone I respected so much describe another colleague as schizophrenic, and I'm like, what the what
What?
what what? And I'm like, first of all, the things are rushing, but like, you cannot even clinically prove that from looking at someone or
Okay,
observing them.
like,
But there are a whole lot of processes to go through to declare someone
yeah,
X. Then what you're even saying is not even schizophrenia. Like it's you can call it bipolar, you can call it something else, but you cannot call it
yeah,
that. And then
yeah.
and then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Ah, Rachi, you have a degree. The disappointment,
In
the
that
moment can
moment, it doesn't
hit
work.
you. And then I'm like, after everything you said and done and how you are caring about people, this is what comes
Yeah,
out of your mouth. Like that day I had like 10 shocks at once.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That
And
that
I think
that pain is a different level. It's a different
I
level.
had a similar. There was one man that I looked up to him. Like, usually, so what I do is, at the beginning of the year, I have this list of people that I usually talk to when my year starts. I see them as like my mentors and whatnot. And for him to ask me that question, that, and maybe I can say it. I'm not mentioning names, so it's fine. And he asked me like, into patches remember about that man, and I said, then I'm like,
Oh,
okay, why? Wait, oh, is it you?
why pick up?
It's not you. It's not
Why
you
pick
saying this
up?
at all. And it was a bit of a shock. And
Mhm.
I think maybe I didn't address it properly, because maybe that was an opportunity for me to educate him.
Mm.
But I sort of just, in
You
my
were
head, I
just
was like, okay, well, I'm not talking to you again, because no, this can't be it, you
mhm.
know. And I think talking about it now, probably I should go back and have a conversation with him about something like this. And it's something I think I would do going forward. But I
Breaking
think
news.
the
If he talks to the guy, it was first said on Come Hearts, Come Minds. This public service announcement is over. Please continue.
so so I mean, and yes, I do have colleagues like yourself, and friends who are willing to, and shamelessly, I'll plug my mom. And my mom, she has a clinic. She calls it Max Bed Clinic out here in Pokwase. And she's, even though she's not like certified to talk to be like a therapist or whatnot, she actually does take the opportunity to do some of these things. and
Mm,
and for me, that's how I do the navigation. If it's good, okay, I take it in. I see how best I can get you to help me when it comes to posting of stuff, talking to other people. If I find somebody who needs an accountability partner, I just direct the person to you, and that sort of thing. If it's bad, I just sort of take my mind off and just go like, look, just sit in your corner, because I
mhm.
know I'm not ready to deal with it. I will not put myself through the emotions of dealing with it
Yeah.
and suffer it myself. So I'll just go like, I'm not gonna touch it, because the good outweighs the bad. Even if the bad
Oh,
is
yeah.
100,
Oh
Even
yes.
the bad is happening, the good is one. I'll
Oh
take that.
yes.
So,
Oh yes.
so
Oh yes.
that's how we navigated all
Oh
this
yes.
while.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I mean the good. I I don't think I'm curious enough, but if there's someone who feels advocacy, especially for mental health, the bad outweighs the good. I'm curious. I want to, maybe I don't want to meet them, but maybe I want to know their story because
Yeah,
the good always outweighs the bad. Even if it's just
yeah.
one good, it outweighs like the 10,000 bads you've experienced.
The excitement you get from that good, it's I don't think any of those other things will compare.
Yeah, when they say money can't buy certain things, that fulfillment you get. I mean, I was telling someone that mental health advocacy can be a bit lonely sometimes. Like you will post something, let me just give an example. I mean, you're a Formula One fan. You could post something about Formula One, and people who don't even know anything about will come and comment
Yeah,
and give you responses. Some will even insult you. You know what I mean? But you can post about mental health advocacy and crickets.
yeah.
Like crickets.
I
And
have
what
a
then
trick.
is
I have a
mhm,
So my trick is, I realize that whenever I post my daughter's picture or a video of her,
mhm,
people tend to look at my status. So
yeah,
whenever I want to, I'll just come and first post her video or something. Everybody will look at it. Then I'll put that one in the middle somewhere. So even if you look and then you like try to like double tap it over, you would have
mhm.
still seen it. That's the
Yes.
most important part. You will
You're
still
such a
have
meanie.
obviously in your mind
You are
somewhere.
determined.
Oh yes, they need to know about it. And it
And
works. You get a lot of views that way.
and I find that interesting because sometimes you would start and then you see that 500, okay, no, 500 is maybe, but 100 people have viewed your status. And then you
Yeah,
put something there and then it's 90, then it drops to 30. And,
yeah,
and
yeah,
at the point, or I put something on LinkedIn, nobody likes it. But I realize that when it comes to some of these things, sometimes the viewership just helps because a lot of people will not react publicly to what you are
hmm
doing. They will not.
yeah,
They will go home and maybe even pray about it or go and Google it or chat GPT it or Claude AI it. But they would, there's always a reaction. And hopefully
yeah,
that reaction leads to better decisions. I think that's why we really love what we do here. So I'm really happy about how you've talked about the good reactions and the support and even some of the things. And
yeah.
I hope you're able to speak with the guy. But I just hope you're
Yeah,
not. If you don't feel like
I,
you don't feel like him.
I will try my best because, like, now thinking about it, I do realize that it was a good opportunity to educate somebody, and I passed it on.
Mm.
So, I mean, you have to take these opportunities.
Plus, you were in shock. I mean, if anything, you can forgive past as well that he was in shock. So
That
I
one,
see the
yeah.
shock on your face. Yes.
It went over my head.
It's overdue. Yes, and I'm really happy because I think that's another thing that advocates may be listening to us. Sometimes you have to just pack it. You just have to go like, I accept that we think differently, and that's it. Like, put it somewhere because we cannot go through and deal with all these emotions that you don't even care about. Just put it somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Now, from your perspective as a working professional in Ghana, what practical culturally relevant strategies have you seen men successfully use to support mental health while balancing work, family, societal expectations? This is like its own topic on its own
yeah, yeah.
because societal expectations alone, then family, say you are a breadwinner, and then
Right way.
then even you don't even when you don't have any bread you are winning cry, you're supposed to
You have to win this by force.
and then you don't even have it. Probably you even live with your mom, but so you're a breadwinner. Hey, like balancing work, the stresses of work, traffic. Oh my goodness. You just touch on
Traffic.
it for us. What's your perspective of what Ghanaian men can culturally use? Some things really are working well. Maybe
Yeah.
the drinks are working well. But
The-
what are some of the things?
and
Mhm.
actually, I don't think I'll deep dive too much, but I'll just touch on this particular part about the drinks thing you're talking about. And I feel like that is it's an underrated part of being, you see the way they said guys can talk to each other and we don't
Mhm.
even know each other and just move, right? That is one thing that for me, and I see it a lot here than anywhere else, that it's very good.
Mm.
I won't go so much as call it the accountability partners that I've been talking about, but
Yeah,
just the mere
let me call it what it is. It is men's therapy. When you see men sitting
mental,
down laughing around on bottles, they don't
yeah,
have issues, they have bottles, and some don't drink.
issue.
I know some men who don't drink. And if you want to question it, you can go to the episode that talks about men's friendships. I have
Yeah,
concluded from three men that
I
okay,
felt it
please
was
continue.
so I mean, and for me, I think culturally, the ability for us to just group and then discuss certain things. And I think I'll give an example. Early late part of last year, one of the things that I did, or I'm still doing to try to sort of, stay healthy is to play tennis, right? And for some funny reason, I go there and I meet like people from another bank there, and we play like 1, 2 games together, and that is it. We become a group,
Mm.
and we actually make sure that we come early before tennis starts, sit and talk about our day before we go into it.
Oh.
So yeah, I feel like that's one thing that I love the most about us as Ghanaian men, the fact that
Mm.
we are willing. And the truth of the matter is that, look, some men, like I said before, we jest a lot about some of these things, but we have each other's, emotions or feelings at heart.
Mm.
So the fact that you say one thing and we laugh at you, like, there's this joke going on Twitter that says that the guy tried to kill himself, and ever since then his nickname is Suicide. And it's
Wow.
not because we want to. It's not because they want you to know that, look, the thing you did was silly, so we are naming
Mhm.
you that, so don't go back to it. So again, like piggybacking to it, I feel
Mhm.
like that is a very good. And for guys out there who feel like they are not able to relate to other guys, it's
Mhm.
just as simple as, Charlie, how be you? And then that is it. The
Mm.
conversation
Mm.
just goes.
Yeah.
So just reach out. And trust me, sometimes I look at the things that we do or we talk about as men, and you find out that we are not really talking about anything, but you
Mm-hmm.
go away feeling fulfilled that, at least I've been able to, have a
Mm-hmm.
long conversation. I'm not, thinking too much about this. But that is the narrative part that I think it's a very practical thing. And for me, I see it happen. I have like some, and also another shameless plug. I have a group called X-Men, and all we do is the fact that I think it started out with a catfish, Friday night catfish, and that was half of our therapy. Friday night, we just call each other, "Who are you? Let's go eat catfish, not Kanishi. Let's go." And then we just go and sit there. We talk, talk, talk. It's like by the time we realize it's 10 p.m., 11 p.m., we're like, "Hey, okay, we have to go home." So people are understanding the fact that we need to talk to each other. Men are supposed to be prioritized. Yes, we prioritize our women, we love our women and everything. But the thing about it is, if we are not 100%, we can't be 100% for our women.
Mm.
So I love the fact that we are shifting tides, we are changing narratives now.
Mm.
So please, let's use our men groups not as drinking groups, not as womanizing groups, but as, being there for each other genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we love each other. And please don't go and tell another man that you love him, because no, but we love each other.
You're such a meanie. I just been trying to contain myself on how meanie you can be.
I mean, if you come and tell me that, I'll be like, hey, please, oh no, but you say anything else but you love me.
It's amazing because I think when we had the conversation on a different episode, the person that I
Yeah.
spoke to is not really a drinker, but he really talks about how men congregate. And sometimes it can start from just that Gary and beans that you all
Yeah.
buy. Hi, how are
Yeah.
you? Then from there it moves deeper and deeper because some men are actually afraid of men's friendships. And friendships are funny. Friendships can either pull you down or bring you up. So it's not like every friendship will benefit you, but you know thyself is what was said then. If you know yourself, you know that this one is working, this one is not. Who remembers those group of men during church service, and for some reason they get distracted, and like three, four of them, and they've huddled in a corner while service is going on.
What's this going
I
on?
mean, or who knows this group of men who are always doing stuff together and trying to be like groups of men, I mean, they like to say women congregate and stuff like that, but men do it really well. And I'm beginning to appreciate it even more. Do it really, really, really well. And you'll be surprised how, well, this is not from me, I'm not a guy, but from guys like Master said today, how you look back and you're like, we didn't really say anything, but or we did talk about it and they said, hey, bro, like you are being stupid. Stop what you are doing.
Yes,
Wise up. And then
exactly.
like it changed the trajectory of your life. Or people like, yeah, that's how they are, that's how they are. And then you're like, oh, I feel heard. You didn't have to say, oh, I feel heard, but you know.
You know what? I will give you a good example. Probably maybe it's not even mental health related, but I'll be a good example. So I think a month ago we did this health check in our work, and I found out my cholesterol was high. Right. The I decided not to tell my group of guys because I know how they're going to react. But I told my sister. My sister told her husband, and her husband happens to be in my group. So yesterday night we actually went out, and what they did to me was I got now I sat there. I was like, oh, I want a shandy. They're like, hey, no, 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 please bring him water. And can you believe the whole night they made me drink water the whole night? And so this is what I'm talking about. Like you may think people don't care, but
Mm,
just that small act of they looking like, oh, we know this about you. We know it's detrimental to your health. So we are going to take an active effort to make sure that you're not going the wrong path.
yeah.
It's really underrated and very, very nice to see.
It's underrated. I think another episode that we had is that was on men's depression. And they said the statistics around men's depression is so harsh. Like 1 in 6 women who attempt suicide are successful. That means they actually die.
Yeah.
1 in 4 men actually are successful. It is crazy. Like the stats, maybe I'm misquoting it, I have to go back, but the stats are just depressing in themselves. But then
Yeah.
he also said that men who take their mental health seriously are very successful because men want to be successful. So once they've
Yeah.
made up their mind that, look, I'm going to do something about this, like your friend who didn't come and report back to you, like they're
Yeah.
doing really well. Like
We do very
those
well.
who hit rock bottom really hard, but just rise to the top, you can get that from men. So
Yeah.
I'm really delighted about what you said. I mean, just look around you. It doesn't, we're not saying get up and go for therapy. We're not saying get up and start Googling too many things. We are saying use what you have. It really works. And this,
Yeah.
I can vouch for it, not as a man, but as a woman who's heard 3 different men speak on this podcast about this. Please
Wow.
do not neglect the bro. No, it's not the code. Anyway, the congregation. The meetups. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen it work. I've seen it work so much. I mean, you say, hey, these guys, they like complaining at work. They're always complaining, but it's their form of dealing and processing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I think we've come to the end of the questions. There's only one more I need to ask, but I've looked forward to this for so long. Like I just have to remember that I really don't want to go beyond the hour, so I'll ask the last question. But yeah, it's been amazing having you here.
Thank you.
Said so many things,
Yeah.
so many things. Now, if there was one thing you wanted everyone listening to this to absolutely remember, if they forgot everything that we talked about, and there was one thing you want them to remember, what would it be? This is the hardest one.
Um, it's the hardest one, eh?
What is the hardest?
Okay. I think the most important thing for me is that we should be okay to be vulnerable as a
Mm,
guy. Like just give yourself the room to allow yourself to be taken care of. I
mm,
understand it's hard and maybe it's difficult finding the right person to be vulnerable around. It's a very tricky thing, but do it. And for me, I feel like getting to the point where you tell yourself, look, I know I can't do this all by myself. I need somebody
mm,
to talk to. It would really help you. You will think, wait, I'll go and talk. Take that chance. Take
mm,
that chance. At the back of your head, just understand that look, I've actually looked at this person and trust me, yes, I mean And admittedly, the men too, we are part. Sometimes we use this as an opportunity to do things that we are not supposed to do, and that's not where we are going towards. But admittedly, look, even if you can't talk to your family member or your wife or your, sometimes having, I've been trying this thing recently. Sometimes when I'm sitting there, maybe I come back from work, I'm tired. I'm talking to my daughter. I know she doesn't understand what I'm saying. Like, and all she's interested is to play. But I'm talking, then sometimes she can be really serious, look at my face, and she just laugh. I know she doesn't understand it, but like, I'm just talking about the fact that work has been hard and everything, and she's just there, you know. So just find the person that you can be vulnerable around, and it will work. It will work wonders for you.
One of the movies that really impacted me is My Name is Khan. And
Oh, I've no.
you haven't watched it? Oh, My Name is
No.
Khan. I'm not a terrorist. It was a really good movie. I think the guy was had what's the word? Autistic to a certain point.
Oh,
And
okay.
they advised him to write his feelings. And um, the 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 long story short, because he wasn't very expressive, it was a physically challenging thing to be expressive. He had written it. At the end of the story, the wife actually finds it and is reading, and like it makes a lot of things now make sense to her. But the point is, a closed book never told a secret. And I
Yeah.
really vouch for the journaling. Sometimes there are times I have, and I'm not a guy, but just generally on journaling, I have written down stuff, and it helped me even be able to come back to you and say, Maxwell, this thing that you did, it wasn't great. I write letters like, Dear
Yeah.
Maxwell, this is what you did. And then by the time I'm done, my hand is hurting. But then afterwards, I'm like, hi, Maxwell, that thing, it wasn't cool, eh? It wasn't cool.
Yeah.
So I know it
And
does.
sort of helps you out before you even go ahead.
Try and let it out. I agree with you, and allow yourself to be taken care of.
Yeah.
This is
Important.
Calm Hearts, Calm Minds, and NOCS Heart podcast on mental health awareness. We have been joined by the lovely, amazing, boisterous Joseph
All
Maxwell
that.
and Joe Max, and he's talked about men's mental health advocacy in Ghana. Really, really delighted to have had you. Thank you so much. Please
Thank you
remember
so
to
much.
like, subscribe, comment, share. Please share with others and invite them to subscribe. We need to get to a target so that some
Yes.
things can be financed. So please help us get there quickly. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. I look forward to seeing you again. That one there, almost
Yeah.
there. Even if I have to chase you
Yeah.
from here, we will do it. Thank you so
It's
much.
been great
It's
being
been
here
great.
too.
So to everyone, talk soon. Bye.
Right.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Calm Hearts, Calm Minds, and NSS Heart Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it and we hope you learned something new. We look forward to you joining the next episode. We can't wait to see you soon. Bye.